And I think everyone is changing in our club. And you can feel the environment. They are starting to believe that, of course, the results will dictate a lot, but we have a clear idea. Everyone has a clear job now. You have a full day of job. So I think everything is in the right place for us to be better.
Ladies and gents, I'm going to cover a lot in this video, all right? Ruben Amorim has sat down with the club's press and done his first full interview. He's also spoken to the wider UK press. What did he say? Also, the journalists who have been following United on the pre-season tour have given their opinions on what they've been seeing. I'm going to summarize all of it in this video, 10-minute video, so drop a like on it if you do enjoy it. But I want to start by saying one thing here, right? We have been here before. That sense of optimism that goes into a preseason. We've won some games. All things look different. What's actually going to be different this time? Is there actually going to be a new culture that comes in? Well, I'm going to explain everything that Ruben Amorim has been doing and what the club has been doing too, right? Number one, Amorim is definitely confident that things are in a far better place at Manchester United going into this season. This quote here, talking about the nutrition, we've completely changed our whole nutrition staff. That's just one minor detail, but he speaks about it here. The nutrition's better, the way we cook, the way we eat, how we prepare. I'm not concerned with small things, and I was last year. You can see what I've highlighted there. It's effectively what comes across from that interview with Harry Robinson for United's official club channel. Ruben Amorim feels like everything around him is more geared towards United being in the right place. But more importantly, probably most importantly, I would say, is this point. The good and the bad points of it. Amorim feeling that he doesn't have to fight every single fight at Manchester United anymore. Listen to this clip here.
Feel in the group that if someone comes to our group now, I will not have to fight all the fights. And I felt that last year. Now I feel that I have a group and I have a leadership group inside the team that will help me with that kind.
First of all, the fact that he didn't feel like he had it last season is bad. Secondly, the fact that he feels he has it now is a step in the right direction, right? And we've actually got the list. I think this came out in all the press. Bruno, Maguire, Martinez, Dalot, Tom Heaton, Mazraoui. No Casemiro there. No De Ligt. But anyway, he goes into more detail into exactly what this leadership group is supposed to do. And you know the main thing I'm going to say here is that it doesn't matter how good a manager you are, how good a manager you are, how good a head coach you are. You can't do it alone. You need the buy-in. I've said that so many times. But here's more info on this, right? Steve Howson was bang on about that code of conduct that's been introduced. So bad that we need this. But I suppose maybe every football club does have it anyway. He goes, the rules are not to treat the players as babies. They've got sons. I treat them as a man, but they have rules now. And that can change the way you train. If you don't train in the right way, I have footage to show you, and I'll show you in front of everybody. So I'm always on top. Bit more detail here. Speaking about this management, well, the leadership team inside the dressing room that he's appointed to take charge. You deal with that. You deal with the small issues. That's you guys. You're responsible for it. And also down there, he's saying about Mazraoui being one of the part of the leadership team. He goes, it's not just the older ones. He's in the group because he's a character I like. I try to understand the dynamic of the group and to reach every space. And this bit here, to finish on that point, right? They understand that when I say one thing, I will do it. That's really important. And the change of culture is more a club thing than a manager thing. I cannot do everything by myself. The fact is that Ruben Amorim felt last season that he kind of had to do everything by himself. Didn't work. Couldn't do it. Results were crap. The football wasn't good enough. Amorim partly responsible. Players partly responsible. This season, he feels like clearly he's actually got a better... It's almost like a support network inside the squad. It's like if everyone putting in the same goddamn direction. But on top of that is this, right? And this is from James Ducker on kind of what's been going on with training. It's like Amorim's actually dialed back the grueling double sessions that were a fixture on previous tours under Ten Hag, Training's often wrapped up by early afternoon, giving players time to unwind. The real bonding has evolved more naturally over meals in the gym, during trips to the baseball. Amorim's not ruling by fear. Amorim's not ruling like a strict PE school teacher, which is kind of what Ten Hag was. And I thought that discipline was correct at the time, but obviously it went too far. It's about balance. And I think that's kind of what I'm really interpreting from all of this is Amorim may well do stuff like this. Public shakedowns in front of other members of the squad. If you get something wrong, I'll show you in front of everybody. Because he's treating everyone like men. If you want to be treated like adults, I'll treat you like adults. But if you all pull in the same direction, man, we're going to have a great environment. We don't have to do double training sessions. If you do your work in the off season, which is what they did, and they followed those plans, everyone's come in fitter. We don't need to do now the double training sessions. We can actually finish early. You can actually make the environment far better at work if you just follow the rules. That's something that really comes across. This one here I thought was an interesting little point. This is from James Ducker again, saying, look, a lot of the work on the grass has involved Amorim overseeing tactical walkthroughs away from the club's media cameras. And Delo has actually spoken about it down here. We always do the walkthroughs and some tactical work. He's very keen on that so we can be prepared. But at the same time, the message is really clear. There's not too much information. Everybody knows 2 or 3 things they need to do during the game. Once we get used to that, I think we'll reach a point, hopefully, we can almost play with our eyes closed. We already know where everybody's going to be on the pitch, and it's that second nature when football becomes subconscious to a certain degree, and you don't have to think about what you need to do positionally, makes it easier for everything else to flow. I think here, Amorim's tactics are going to get heavily analysed this year. They really are. Will we stick with that central centre-back? There's still some questions I have. But the fact that a lot of this work's actually being kept in private is a good thing. This is the first interview that we've had with Ruben Amorim, isn't it? I think so. Remember how many interviews he had last time? How frustrated we were all getting about that? But speaking about this interview and these interviews with the wider press, all right? Spoke with Laurie. Well, he spoke to the wider press. So this is the Athletics article on it. This is the Telegraph's article on it. This is the BBC's article on it. And there's lots of good stuff in there about how Amorim himself deals with pressure. There's a little bit of snippet in there on Garnacho, but I don't want to give that lad any more airtime than he's already had, if I'm being totally honest. But I want to show you one clip, and it's this one. Ruben Amorim was asked about Fergie, about how long he stayed at the club, and this was his response.
Yeah, I want to stay 20. That is my goal, and I truly believe in that. Something will happen. I always do. In some moments, I will be lucky. I had a lot of luck during my career as a manager, and my idea is to stay for many years. But again, we know that the results will dictate that. I know that last season I used all the credit, but I'm ready to start fresh.
Ruben Amorim, mate, he wants to stay in the long term. Everything I'm getting from what I've seen in the preseason, in the games, obviously the results and how United play are how we're going to judge whether things are actually changing. All right, and the preseason's been pretty good so far. We need to see that against Everton. We need to see it against Fiorentina. We need to see it in the first game of the season against Arsenal. If we do it against Arsenal, okay, well, it's great doing it on the first day, but how can you do it for the first 3-5 games? It's not that the goalposts will keep moving. It's just that the goals will keep pushing forward. And he clearly feels a lot more confident with the support network that he's got at United. He clearly feels more confident with the squad that he has. And we're seeing it in the results. There's a new leadership team. There's a new code of conduct. There's a new environment. The wrong players are being pushed away. The right players are being brought in. New standards are all being set. We've heard this before, and United, even like Ten Hag's first season, for example, it was there until the tactics in the second season went wrong. I need to see progression. You need to see progression. But Ruben really is trying to change the actual culture of this football club. If the players buy into it, which it looks like they are so far in this preseason, then change can come. But Ruben himself wants to be here for a long time. I bloody hope he is, because that means he's been successful. Now, that's everything covered. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you are new here still, make sure you subscribe, because I'll be covering United all season long.